Good morning, Team Justice. Happy Valentine's Day. I want to do a quick behind the scenes video for my Team Justice friends on Patreon. A few weeks ago, you may recall, I asked if you would like me to try to post a link to my appearances, my MSNBC appearances on Patreon, and many of you said, yes, please. So when MSNBC posts an appearance, then I can post a link. But if they don't, I don't have the computer equipment or the technological sophistication to capture it myself professionally, but necessity is the mother of invention. So here's what I did this morning. After I was done my 6 a.m. appearance with Candace Gibson and Lindsay Reiser, both of whom I adore, I went over to the TV, I rewound it, and then I set up my iPhone camera in front of the TV and recorded it. So now what I'm going to do, this is like the poor man's workaround, is I'm going to post the recording on a private YouTube channel and send you that link. So if you missed it, and why would you be up at 6 a.m. watching MSNBC on Valentine's Day, you can watch it on Patreon. It will link you to the private video on YouTube. So I hope that helps. I will try to do that whenever I can. But as I say, if MSNBC posts my appearances, which they often do, I will continue to just put that link up on Patreon. And I'm not going to go into how I'm feeling at the moment about the impeachment results, other than angry, disappointed, disheartened, but not surprised. But I'm also energized. I am also energized because this reinforces that no one is going to gallop in on the white horse and save us. Bob Mueller couldn't do it. Congress couldn't do it. Joe Biden won't be able to do it on his own. We are the ones who will save us. We are the ones who will protect and promote democracy. We are the ones who will fight like all get out for accountability. And I am still confident that Donald Trump will be held to account in courts of law around the country. More about that in the future, but I am energized. I know you all, Team Justice, are dedicated to making sure, we get to the right place on the accountability and justice front. And, we have more Team Justice projects getting ready to kick off. So together, we will do this. As I say, I'm energized by yesterday's unfortunate result in the Senate because it's up to us, and we're up to the task. So with that, folks, I'm going to try to post this up on Patreon. I'm going to try to link a private YouTube channel. So if you want to watch this morning's appearance on MSNBC, you can. Otherwise, please have a great Sunday. Please have a great Valentine's Day, and let's roll.
The former president now faces a growing list of legal problems post-impeachment. Most notably, the state of New York is ramping up its investigation into his business dealings, and Georgia has opened a criminal investigation into that now infamous phone call to their Secretary of State to overturn the election results. Here to help us unpack all of this is former federal prosecutor and MSNBC legal analyst Glenn Kirshner. Glenn, good morning.
Good morning, Lindsay.
So, Glenn, what other options right now do Democrats have to hold Trump accountable?
There are two big ticket options, Lindsay. One is the 14th Amendment, because the 14th Amendment says if you're a former office holder and you engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the United States, then you can be prohibited from ever holding office again in the future. And here is one sharp, shrewd, tactical thing that I think the Congress did, the Democrats did, with respect to holding this impeachment trial. All you need to prohibit somebody from holding office in the future is a simple majority vote under the 14th Amendment in the House and in the Senate. Those votes have already been taken. Insurrection has already been proved. Now, it wasn't proved by the 2/3 that you need in the Senate to convict and ban somebody from office in the future, but it has been proved, and it already meets the level required by the 14th Amendment. So all they have to do now is hold a vote in the House and in the Senate, And if a simple majority of the members of Congress vote under the 14th Amendment, Donald Trump should no longer hold office, it's a done deal. He can fight it later in the courts. But this impeachment vote set up the ability to now ban him under the 14th Amendment from holding office in the future.
Well, what about a censure? Because The Hill is reporting that the #2 Republican Senator John Thune suggested he could be open to censuring Trump. That resolution would only need 60 votes. So what's the significance of a censure? Would that stop him from seeking office again? I mean, we heard Candace earlier say that Speaker Pelosi just calls out a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, a censure will not prevent him from seeking office in the future. A censure is like, you were caught late to class and we put a note in your permanent file. It means relatively little. But I do think prosecutions are a very real prospect, both state, as you mentioned, in New York and in Georgia for potential election fraud. But I would argue, Lindsay, that Donald Trump is a federal problem because he's committed federal crimes against the United States. We need a federal solution. And I would urge that federal solution is Merrick Garland, once he becomes Attorney General, take a serious look, open a grand jury investigation into all of Donald Trump's crimes. And remember, Merrick Garland cut his teeth as a prosecutor on public corruption cases when he tried the case of Marion Barry, the former mayor of Washington, and he cut his prosecutorial teeth on domestic terrorism cases when he oversaw the investigation and prosecution of the Oklahoma City bombing case. What Donald Trump has done by inciting this insurrection is the unholy marriage of public corruption and domestic terrorism. And that's why I think Merrick Garland is the right man for the job, and Donald Trump must be held accountable federally. We can't let the state criminal justice systems clean up our federal mess.
So on that note, though, I'm going to throw you a curveball here. What if, I hate doing hypothetical questions, but this is something that I've really been wondering about. Let's say that President Trump, before he left office, issued a self-pardon on his second to last day in office without announcing it to the public. If he was then federally charged, that would have no merit.
What a great question, Lindsay. And I would bet $1, that's my betting limit, I'm not a betting man, that he issued himself a pocket pardon, and we just haven't heard about it yet. However, self-pardons are likely illegal and unconstitutional. Even the Office of Legal Counsel at the Department of Justice, that's the office that said you can't prosecute a sitting criminal president, even that office in 1974 said a presidential self-pardon is illegal. I think judges would strike down a self-pardon because if they didn't, that would mean a president could loot the U.S. Treasury, pardon himself, and there would be no judicial remedy. The courts are not going to do that to the American people. So I hope he issued a self-pardon because that would give us the opportunity once and for all to create legal precedent on whether a president can pardon himself. And I predict the courts will say he can't.
All right, our $1 betting man, Glenn Kirshner. Thank you.
Way to splurge, Glenn.